of 99 luncheon. The concept is we have 99 board members at ECTS. And with 99 board members, a lot of those board members have never even seen the building. Our joint operating committee is a committee of that board of 99 that meets monthly to do all of our business like you guys do as a school board back in your home districts. But I wanted to try to get it out, to educate people what's going on here, and have this annual kind of luncheon so you can see what the students are doing, see what you're investing in. $34 million renovation just is getting completed. $5 million annually you're giving us as a group on student, the per pupil cost. I want to know what you're investing in. So when you kind of know what we're talking about when they come in and they talk about this program, that program, back in your home district. That's the goal of it. How many people have never been to the tech school before? Wonderful. That's exactly why we're here. Hopefully, each year we have a little luncheon. You get to eat, obviously, really good food. What do you say we give our chefs a round of applause? It looks delicious, and I was begging them to save me a little plate for afterwards. Hopefully that can happen. With our presentations today, we're going to have a little bit of a student experience panel. We'll just ask a couple questions to our students. They maybe don't even know that's going to happen here. They're sitting at your tables later on. We have our design and drafting students here that are going to present their architecture project they do on the home building. And then I'll give a few highlights, updates, maybe 10 slides, just to kind of refocus it on what is the state of the union of ECTS. Where are we? Where are we headed? What are the past challenges and future opportunities? All that good stuff. So with that, I'm turning it over to our design and drafting students for their opening presentation on their houses. All yours.
Welcome, board members, to Erie County Technical School. Today we will be discussing our comprehensive architecture project. I'm Colton Frost. I'm a second year in our drafting and design engineering program, and I attend General Lutheran High School.
I'm Amy Jancy, and I'm also second year. I attend the drafting design engineering program, and I'm a year away.
I'm Aiden Cooper. I attend McDowell High School. I'm also a second year in the drafting design program.
This comprehensive architecture project took a whole semester. We had real people and real clients who served as our clients. You can see in the photos. This project had many scaffolding portraits that led to our final presentation.
Might be too far away.
Might be too far away. All right. We'll just. You want to stand over here and see if it works? Let's try it. Working yet? We'll just advance slide manually.
Yep, it's all good.
Sounds good.
Our class conducted research and did an architecture scavenger hunt around Erie, Pennsylvania to learn about house styles, roof, window placement, and landscaping. We learned and utilized 4 different design software programs to create drawings and interior designs of the homes our clients wanted. Each group of 2 students were given a large budget. We designed a dream vacation home within the budget constraints and according to what we learned from our interviews with our clients. We made preliminary designs, scheduled meetings, wrote professional emails, and had our clients sign off on our designs so we could move with the full design of our home. We shopped for proper lights, identified where outlets and light switches should go, and paid attention to space planning.
We also voted on a class for which required items would be needed to be incorporated into our dream vacation home. We decided on an artistic window, and a door as well as a decorative pathway and lighting that reflects the style. We took safety tests that we could cut. The foam board that we used, was the top of that foam board. We utilized our 3D printers, our laser cutter, and other tools. We learned about technical writing throughout the project and what drawing would be needed for a set of working drawings. Please understand that everything you see is made from scratch. We had to build everything from the model ourselves. These models are 1/4 to 1 foot scale. Using the CAD software, we designed everything from the floor up. We drag the interior design a shortened version of that presentation is here for you to see today.
Yeah, these are just pictures of all of the projects as presented in the video.
Trying to get there.
Yeah, it's picture 20. This one.
So this is a photo of me and my partner Holden's company, SF Collective. We had to make a model for our thing too. We're making every draft a reality. My partner Holden couldn't be here today because for AP scheduling he has to attend the morning class. So it also gave us some difficulties when presenting and coming up with everything for our houses, but in the end I think it really all came out okay. This is a picture of our house. We have all three of our houses displayed up here. I think me and Holden's house is a little bit unique because all the houses have a base of foam board, some are 3D printed and have wood, but we actually have all three things incorporated. We even have some landscaping things that look nice. We had to cut out separate pieces of wood over our foam board, glue them on, paint them, engrave lines, and 3D print windows, doors, closets. We made a website with another one of our classes, computer networking, and they made something that would look like a Zillow that you could see, or Realtor.com that you could see on Safari. And this is just photos that we gave to them that would make it look like what you'd see if you were actually looking on the website. We had a lot of, like Eva said, a lot of special prompts that we had to do with special doors, special windows, and special walkways. This is a photo of one of our stained glass windows. They're located in all the bathrooms. I think they look really nice. This is a bird's eye view or a plot view, so to say, of our house. You can actually remove all three of the floors separately when we're done presenting. You can come look at the model, and this just gives you a good view of everything. This is just a page of all the stained glass windows that we had. We didn't use all of them, but we really wanted to have a lot of options that fits the beachy feel of our house. It's just photos of me working. This is when I was working on our script and I had to put all our photos in order just for the Realtor.com website. And this is two photos of the two main softwares that we use. So the top one you can see is called Revit. It's really where we made the house. We had to come up with the floor plan and see how everything would flow together. We had to design the windows, and that's where everything was designed. And then the one on the bottom is the main one that I worked on called Home Styler. That's where we can have the colors and schemes and everything that our client really requested to do in the house. And it gives you a good view of it. This is rendering from Revit. We have an elevation of our kitchen. Our kitchen wraps around the corner, so you can see a lot of the things that our client wanted, like the double stacked ovens and a ventilation area over the flat top cooking grill. And then this is the other side. The arrows on the cabinets actually help us out a lot because it can give you a good idea where the cabinets would open up at. This is another photo from Home Styler. This is, you can see that's our special door on the left side that was actually collapsed completely. They can go to the wall and it can open up the entire first floor, and then there's a staircase to our second floor. This is one of the more renderings from our second floor. This is our kitchen. You can see our requested bar, dining, seating area, and then a dining room table right in the back with the special doors. This is a rendering of the back of the house. You can see all those doors. They're located all over the house. We have a lot of different wood colors and a lot of different stains around the house. And you can see the wraparound deck on the second floor. This is from Revit. We didn't include this on the model just because we didn't have time. There's a lot of, we really had to prioritize our time when making the models. This is an outdoor shower. It's located on Lake Wachita. So after a long day on the lake, you can come in with your family and you can wash off and relax. This is a front view. This is what you would see as you pulled up to the house. You can see all the windows we incorporated, the two separate terraces on the third floor, and the landscape. This is a rear view, also from Revit after we changed the color on the outside, just if you had a drone and you wanted to see the whole compound. And this is is the last photo of our house. This is just one more thing we added on our website.
Okay, so just like Colton, we also had a company, we believe company. This is our logo, AA Designs. These are pictures of Aiden working on some of our Revit components. So a lot of like the base building of our house, a lot of the electrical plans, plumbing, lighting, a lot of that is made. This is me working on Home Styler, and like Colton said, a lot of Home Styler goes to the color schemes, the textures, the actual like making of the artistic parts of the house. This is a rendering from Revit. This is the back of our house. A lot of what you can do is very close attention to detail from virtually nothing. We started with very blank canvas and very blank canvas. This is a picture of our decorative walkway. This was one of the components that we had to incorporate into our house. This is the front of our house. We wanted to stay with that really beachy theme that we had. This is the interior of our first floor. That's actually on the model. Our client really wanted a very open floor plan, so it was our job to really make sure that happened. This is the interior of the upstairs. There's a lot of walls and a lot of more attention to detail when it came to the second floor rather than the first floor. We did a lot of attention to detail when it came to furniture making, because that's all possible sticks and papers. This is the interior of our first floor from a Home Styler render. As you can see, there's a lot of attention to detail. A lot of color schemes are seen, a lot of really good textures, and a lot of materials that you wouldn't see on Revit or even in our model. This is our master bedroom. This is one of the rooms that we were really proud about. Like I said before, a lot of attention to detail, a lot of attention to the textures, the lighting in the room. This is a rendering of our back patio space. So one of the things that our client wanted was a lot of outdoor living space, and this was really fun to build because we had to really incorporate a lot of our clients' wants when it came to their dream page. This is the front of our house with lights on the inside. So this is one of the pictures that we sent to the computer programming to make their house through the Zillow website. This was one of our pictures. This was another one to do our back living space. You see the pergola is there from our Home Styler Revit or Home Styler render. This is another view that we sent to them. As you can see here, there's the garage and the whole patio living space. Really try hard.
So I'm going to be presenting the house on the far right, over there at my right, your guys' left. It's made by two juniors. They are both in morning class, and they weren't able to be here because they're older, they both have AP classes. Their client was Officer Yanni right there. So here's a picture of the Revit. You can like the floor plan, I believe in the first floor, and you can see all sorts of different like labeling and all the, because like Ava and Colton both said, like literally we had to come up with everything on our own. We started from nothing and made it from scratch. Here's their model. You have like a pergola in the back and also a pool, a swimming pool that they both are 3D printed. They used like one of the final programs that I don't think either of them mentioned was Inventor. They made the model out of it and like sent it to the 3D printer, and then they were able to then print it, the physical part of it, and then put it in the house. Here's another view from Revit. You have the side view of the house. They chose a very flat roof, which was a lot easier to make, I assume, than all the other A-frame roofs that everybody else did. Officer Ye wanted a rock wall and home gym in her house, so she was able to like work out and have her kids play on the rock wall and stuff. That's in Home Styler render of it. You're able to see details that you wouldn't be able to see in the model. Here's all the pictures of the lights in their house. We also had to go onto like Amazon and like Lowe's and Home Depot and everything, going in depth into researching the lights that we actually wanted and pricing them out and everything else. So yeah, there's all their lights for all the different parts of the house. Here's the picture from Inventor, I believe. Like I said, like they literally built the pergola from scratch on the computer, and then they sent it over to the 3D printer to print it, the physical part of it. Here's just another rendering of Home Styler. You can see like the view of the house, the back view, their swimming pool, and everything else. Here's their kitchen with the pergola, their outdoor kitchen, I should say. Able to, yeah, all of our models are right here. You guys can come up and look at them. Outside you have their fire pit and trees and stuff, all the foliage. And then this is one of the pictures they sent to the computer networking class for their the Zillow-esque thing.
All right.
With the cages, and you basically cost everything out by when you talk to the thing. So they did evaluation of cost and everything. So this wasn't just straightforward. So they did a lot more than just this work. They had cost, so you know how much. Like you said, he mentioned about the light. So if you got when you get a client, you tell them this is it. You don't get a client and say here's the house, and then you give them the bill. You want the client would want to know how much it's going to cost before you got there. You know, you get your budget. So they do that too. So it isn't just straightforward drawing this up. They do a lot of research also. They did mention, you've seen them talk about lights, and this is like the fourth, fifth time we've seen this done, so they just mentioned that, I just want to know the boards, they do more than just doing this, so they cost analysis too.
Adding on to the budget, like the gentleman was saying, on our website, they actually made a calculator, and we got to put our total budget in. If I remember correctly, I think our house was about $965,000. Then we got to add in whatever down payment we wanted. I think we all went with 20% down payment and a 5% interest rate, and it came out to about $3,600 per month. And all of ours were different, so really got to give the client a good feedback.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We're happy to answer any questions.
Hey, come look at the houses, please.
Yeah, you can come up and look at our models.
Thank you. The good news is we're running a little bit behind, which means you don't get to hear. I have to talk less, right? So, all good. They do this project every year with level two, and it's always a neat project to see. They take a long time restrooms, if anybody's gotta use the restroom, we have like kind of open, all student restrooms over here on the hallway on that side. There's a single-use, stall right there by a nurse's office, around the corner there on that side, if anybody has to use the restroom. We're gonna keep rolling here, and again, get bananas Foster's, get Jared Jubilee, get more helping to relax the atmosphere. We're gonna try to power through and get a couple more announcements and so forth. Next up, we have all of our students. They don't know this, but if you guys want to come down here, we got Mrs. Aiken ready to ask you a couple of questions about your student experience. So students, come on now.
Students, get out of the
Student ambassador, come on down. You'll get back in the dessert line in a second, guys. Come on down. All right. So in order to understand the student experience, we have a couple questions to ask different students. We're not going to ask them all to every single student, but the floor is yours, Ms. Aiken.
So our student ambassadors are hand-selected every year. Sometimes they serve with us for more than 1 year, sometimes it's just one. But we want to pick those top students who are, in our eyes, having a great experience at the Tech because we want them to share those experiences. So we utilize them for giving tours, talking to groups like this one, and recruiting our next upcoming group of students. So these are just some of our student ambassadors for the year. And so I'm going to kind of streamline things just a little bit. Not that I'm going to give Matt more time to talk, but just to keep things a little bit more simplified for these folks. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to introduce who you are. So give me your name. Tell me what program you're currently in and your sending school. And then I want you to answer one of two questions. I want you to tell them about a project or experience that was your favorite while you were at Tech, or tell them how your experience at ECTS is shaping your future. So how we're shaping your future, or what your favorite experience has been. Sound good? All right, Liam, you're up.
My name is Leo. I go in the automotive technology program.
Sending school.
I go to Airport.
And favorite experience, or how we're shaping your future.
ECTS shaped my future by encouraging me to work on automobiles and get me into working into the program more, learning more, and showing that people are in need of mechanics right now. Mechanics are in need. Just showing me how I can fix cars without fix all the problems. All the electric cars coming out.
Thank you, Liam.
My name is AJ Scalise. I go to Seneca. I'm in facility maintenance. And in my lab, we learn about mostly all the trades. So it's helped shape my future by learning what I want to do with my hands. I know I love working with my hands, and tech helped me figure out what I want to put my skills into.
My name is Pascal Laporte. I'm in the metal fabrication lab at the University High School. I would say probably one of my favorite experiences would be going on the field trips because I get to realize we go to different companies and factories that get your skills on the fabrication. I'm able to realize that I can use where these are places that I can go once I graduate.
Perfect, thank you.
My name is Jara Atkin. I'm in the metal fabrication and I go to Fort Leboeuf. One of my opportunities I'm given here is we get to do an AWT welding test, and it gives me the opportunity to become a certified welder. And I can take that almost anywhere and get a job.
Hi, my name is Caleb. I'm in automotive technology and I go to Northeast. My favorite, well, this school has taught me a lot, actually. Way more than I thought. I love cars ever since I was little, so just working on them helps me learn more about them and what I want to do.
My name's Austin. I go here for the electrical engineering program, and I'm from Northwestern. It's this program that I'm doing. It's giving me the skills that I need for my future job, which I plan on going into the military and being an electrician.
My name is Carly. I'm here for graphic media and design, and I'm from General McLean. My favorite experience from ECTS was really finding what kind of art I enjoy to do and what I want to do with my future, which is doing graphic design for clients. And we use a lot of Adobe, which is very easy to use, and it helps me get my ideas onto paper and get them out into the world.
Hello, my name is Sam Jablonski. I go to ECTS for the computer networking program, and my home school I attend the Fairview School District. Computer networking has contributed to my future because in both practical projects that we have inside our lab and also our field trips, it teaches me about all the other paths you can take. And I've also networked quite a bit for finding jobs.
Ken Byerly. I'm in the precision machining lab. I come from Fort LaBeouf. It really helped shape my future because it helped me get certifications that are recognized throughout the country and helped me get out on a co-op job that gets me real world experience and really builds a real career.
Thank you.
I'm Ray Letzo. I'm in sports therapy, and I go to Fort LaBeouf. ECTS has shaped my future because it not only has given me many certifications that can help people in many different situations, but it also is helping me get a job right out because I'm taking my personal trainer certification and then work in college for what I want to do.
My name is Hunter Thompson. I'm in the Emergency and Protective Services program. I'm from Northeast, and I just like how tech lets you network with people and you get to learn real life experiences while you're here.
Wonderful. And then just one last thing, folks, you may or may not know, we are unlike our other high schools because we do not have a lot of clubs, we do not have sports teams and different things like that. We, for the most part, have two opportunities for our students to get involved, and that's the National Technical Honor Society. It's essentially the equivalent of NHS, but for career tech ed students. How many of you are members of our NTHS chapter? Beautiful. And what are some things that you do in NTHS, Samuel? What are some things that you do with NTHS?
Sometimes we do, we try to do donation drives, like we did, at one point you were selling chocolates around the school.
Service projects for the community, right?
Yeah. And then you've got Community Service Day coming up in May. You may or may not know about that, but you do. Perfect. And then we also have Skills USA, and I like to explain Skills USA. It's like the 4-H for career and tech ed students, and it allows for them to compete in their skilled area, but also build leadership skills, networking opportunities, things like that. And how many of you are a member of Skills USA? Anything you want to share about Skills USA?
Recently this year I became a junior officer. It allows you to meet a lot of people in the career, and you get to compete for what you want to do in your future. You can win a lot of things by doing it.
Anybody have any questions for any of our ambassadors? All right, go for it.
So for the two young ladies who are in welding and automotive, I want to applaud you for being in a male-dominated field and obviously excelling since you are in the line up there. Do you have a particular shop or place that you want to go to work afterwards? Have you given it much thought how your future's gonna be and how you're gonna navigate? Has this helped you navigate being with the boys?
I want to go to ISM. I like what they do there, and I fit in with everybody in my shop here, and I'm hoping that it can apply to the workplace if I get into ISM.
I haven't really thought about the shops, but college is definitely an option for me right now. And it just helps me get along with all the other guys and hopefully just do the same at college.
Beautiful. Any other questions? Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Ambassador.
guys. All right. The kids say it better than we could ever say it. Their experience here has always been great. One of the one-liners that I always use is, why, how do you make friends? And why are they your friends? And it's typically spend time with them and have similar interests. And so the students coming here from the 11 sending school districts are choosing a program they all have that similar interest in, right? And then they spend 1,485 hours. That's a lot of hours over 3 years with those peers in that program, and as well as the teachers. And so the relationship building that goes on here is really second to none. Really is. All right. See if we get this thing to work. I put new batteries in. It's just not cooperating today. There it is. All right. It's going to work now. All right, good. What is it really all about? It's about the students. It's about the member districts, the community, the employers, the parents, the staff, all propping our students up to be successful. That's really what our goal is. If you talk about the mission and vision of ECTS, pretty simple. You guys have seen these statements before. Employability, career planning, technical education, and supporting academics. That's kind of where our mission goes. We talk a lot about student success. We highlighted some of that today with our presentations and our students talking about their experience here. Right now, we have 20-some students down at Skills USA Leadership Conference. Every year, they hold a District 10 conference strictly on leadership skills. And we took 20 of our Skills USA students there. We have over 60 students in Skills USA. We also, we talked about NTHS earlier. We have record numbers there. And then we started a Rotary Interact Club this year, another student service organization where they're doing a peace pool downtown and so forth. When we talk, what's our leadership vision for the school? To be a force. This place is a gem. You know, when we talk to alumni, they brag about, oh yeah, I went there. Oh, I learned so much there. Gave me an opportunity there. I did this class. I did that class. One of my goals in the next 5 years is kind of revitalize the adult education side of things. There used to be 2,000 some odd people a year that come through our night program and our adult ed program. Now we're down to like 250 a year. And mostly it's just state inspection and so forth. So those are some of the things where we're looking to improve on as a school. Man, it just doesn't want to cooperate. There it goes. All right. What are our improvement goals as a school? We constantly talk about improving the culture, supporting staff and students. We've always done a great job supporting students, but we're really working hard with staff as well. Protect the public trust. You guys have made an investment, $34 million into the renovation here. We want to make sure we're protecting that trust to say, hey, what we're doing here is quality, what we're doing here is good, and so forth. And of course, relationships. All that networking. We have 11 different school districts. How many companies are there within the 11 different school districts? It's crazy to think about. And we're building all those relationships out. Our co-op coordinator, new one, is Jeff Zelfro. He's been a teacher with us for many years now. Just moved into co-op position. He is on the road out there all the time. We have over, I'll let that go because I'm not supposed to present on that. I wanted to hear a little bit from a couple of our staff members. So where's Lisa Scalise at? There you are. She's going to go over the co-op stuff.
Right now?
Yeah, you're up.
All right. So I pulled Mr. Zelfero's report, and when he did his report on February 14th, he had 91 students. out working in cooperative education positions. And between then and today, we've added at least 6 more. So it is rapidly expanding. Our companies are hungry for our students, and we really love giving them that opportunity to earn credits towards graduation while getting that real hands-on experience.
All right. Next up, we have Mary Folkrod, who talks about all of our career days.
I am Mary Folkrod. I am the career planning coordinator and guidance counselor here. We handle some very specific things as far as bringing in speakers and having a military panel and an apprentice panel. Our advanced training day is similar to a career plan or a career fair, but we have a lot of different things coming in since we're such a variety of careers. So we offer a lot of different
Excuse the interruption. Would
career
Ken come to the
opportunities to
high
our
school
students.
office? Ken to the high school office, please.
Next up, we have Brittany Howe, who's going to give a little enrollment update.
So as of today, we have 530 active applicants that have applied for next school year. 291 registrations for the first round of our lottery was what I pulled yesterday. We are now over 300. We've offered out 343 seats so far out of the 530, and we're looking to do another round of offers here within the next couple weeks.
All right, thank you. Brittany's our enrollment engagement coordinator that goes out to the schools and meets with all the middle school students, manages the tours and all that recruiting side of things. So you know we have 11 school districts. You have little booklets in front of you that highlights our 19 career and tech ed programs. We actually have more than that, but we only advertise 19. We have a diversified occupations program, which is number 20. And then we have a transition program, which is our special ed program in the service occupations. So currently we have 956 students that come here on a daily basis. You go back a couple of years, you can see it on the slide there. We were 629, and we were 665, 762, 812, and now we're right at 956. So we're growing significantly. That's part of that whole investment of the $34 million. We added 20,000, a little over 20,000 square feet onto the building, added new spaces to fill, and that's where we added sports therapy 3 years ago. This year we added emergency and protective services. A year from now, not this fall, but the following fall, we're going to offer heavy equipment operation. So we are expanding on a lot of our programs. So that is a good thing for the workforce market in Erie, in my opinion. We've turned over 57 of 69 positions in the last 5 years. That's pretty crazy to think about, where we've had quite a few new hires. Our HR department has been busy. This year we have 18 new staff members, 1 in the administrative ranks, Frank Kimmel, our facility director, 8 in our professional staff ranks, and 9 in our classified staff ranks. So a lot of new, a lot of turnover, a lot of learning, a lot of revisiting the procedures and processes with that. I know you guys put a huge investment in, but we're also trying to continue to build on that investment. We have our own foundation, and we're going to run our first annual golf outing June 30th. We have started an alumni association just to network and have a few events each year to keep connection to the school. And hopefully those connections then allow the students to maybe have a job opportunity or an internship or a co-op opportunity somewhere. We talked about the programming and of course expansion. Last year when we talked about adding and doubling cosmetology, I pushed very hard with our superintendents and our JOC to say high priority occupations, healthcare. We're turning 60 kids away from healthcare. Construction trades, we were turning like 70 kids away from construction trades. This is wrong. We're going to go Cosmo too. We got to go construction doubled. We got to go healthcare doubled. And that's really where we saw that big jump last year, where we added 4 teachers and doubled those programs. Those things are all going really, really well. While we talk about health assistant program and Cosmo, we moved some things around the building, and we have a space over here we're going to build into the health lab, and that's occurring probably around $200,000 a cost. Bids are going to go out, Frank, right here. We're going to put this thing out to bid, and this summer we're going to build that health lab out to have a pretty good hospital space for them to learn in. Right now they have 2 classroom spaces where one is a lab and one is a theory room, so to say. Good stuff going on. So where are we headed? Record numbers, more programming, and then connecting to opportunity. That's a big one. We want to continue to see what's out there and learn what's out there and so forth. Students in live action projects and service type projects is one of my big pushes that I've always believed in. Get them out there so they're out there working in the community. They're learning from the people they interact from. They're learning from those projects that are real world. We've done things with Camp Fitch and Home and Garden Show. We run CPR for our member districts. We run some EMS. We helped with the EMS dig out back in November when we got bombarded with snow. We helped with Mill Creek EMS. Shop with a Hero Day. There's a bunch of them. Mini Homes Project. Someone jumped me earlier and said, why is Crawford Tech doing mini homes and we're not? We are. When they ran that article, I'm like, come on now, we'll do it too. Really, it comes down to Brent Davis, the county exec, actually had the assistant director at Crawford Tech as a teacher back in the day, so they have a special personal relationship. But we are now involved in the Mini Homes Project. We do a lot of leadership. We talk a lot about leadership with our students. Leadership training is what we have taken a kind of a support program where we do monthly lessons on. It's based on the power of the 4 developmental assets. Fully believe in that. And pretty much, if you haven't heard of them, Search Institute, you can look them up, the protective factors for youth. And that's the basis of our support programs and so forth. More assets they have, the more likely they're going to thrive. And likewise, the opposite. Less assets to have, the more likely they're going to get themselves into trouble and risk-taking behaviors. Just so you know, we talk a lot about leadership. And as we do talk about leadership, I got to recognize our staff. We got our whole staff lifted up there. They're all trained in the 40 assets as well. They're all trained in that. We talk a lot about school culture improvement. We really want to push that leadership side of things. And we have great leaders within our staff in our programs. So, parting thoughts, feedback, share your questions, contact us, come in and visit. If there's something we're missing, let us know. We had our OAC meetings for all of our advisory councils for each program 2 weeks ago, and I've got guys saying we need, how about a massage therapy program? I'll donate all the equipment to you. And I'm saying, well, I don't think I can open that as K-12, but we're going to try to build that out as an adult ed program. We had a meeting last week with UPMC network. There's no LPN program in the area, right? And so we're going to try to build that out, see what we can. Now, I'm not guaranteeing all this stuff is going to happen, but we are going to try to build out that adult ed and see what we can make happen over time and get back to where we do have 1,000 people coming through in a year or more in our adult ed program. What else is out there? I'm newer to the Erie area, having been the director here now a year and a half. Maybe there's something out there that we're not connected to. Feel free to give us a buzz, let us know. Whether it's work jobs for students, and if someone stopped me earlier and said, we need some cooks out there, I said, get me on the email and I'll get you, see what we can find with our co-op coordinator. But maybe there's something else we're missing. Maybe there's another live action scenario out there. And feel free to reach out. The goal of today was for the board members, the 99 board members that run this place, because we're a consortium of all your districts, to be able to see it, taste it. Hopefully we tasted it already. Did you taste it already? Good. And then hear from the students and their actions. That was the goal of today. So hopefully we met it. And where am I at time? 8 minutes over. Oh man, 6 minutes over. And with that, thank you for coming. If you want to stay around for the joint operating board committee that we have afterwards, feel free. I know you guys sit in a lot of board meetings. I'd head that way and get the heck out of here. But feel free to ask any questions and so forth. Go ahead, Ms. Stacy.
If anybody did not get a tour before we got started and you would like a student tour of the building, please see me and I'll get you paired up with an ambassador or two. We'd be happy to still do that for you.
Also, you have some gifts at your seats. There's the chargers and coffee cups. Feel free to take whatever you want as a parting gift. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a great day.
Yeah, I was curious.
I've never
Thanks.
The lowest is Union City at $6,188 per student. Now, when we say that per student, we're using the 3-year averaging of 2 years ago kind of numbers that makes that number. If you actually looked at, hey, we got an $8.25 million budget, and we have 1,025 students, our per pupil cost would be.
So I can just switch right to board
You know,
docs now.
Does that make sense?
For the row.
And so you can see that as a community that is maybe not as wealthy as the other ones, pays a little less.
All right, thank you.
And the ones that are more affluent communities pay a little more. That's what it comes down to.
We have no business left in town.
Well, most of the little towns are always like the same thing, or, you know. Yeah. But like I said, York Tech School was, they had all-day school session, then they had a 3 to 6 program, then they had night schools, and there was a lot of government subsidized then. When Dr. Wise was the supervisor, there was literally hundreds of students coming in, even I did it, and it was subsidized, but you can see with the change, there's not that many night students, but they had an all-day program, 3 to 6 high school children coming out here, and then 6 to 10 adult education. So this school was really, really used for a number of years. That's because the skill center was built because of that, because in the 80s they wanted to build up skill center, and then suddenly I don't know what happened. But now it's going back that direction. That's come our enrollments. And large so much because they found out that they have to have somebody do the dishes. They don't get done by themselves.
But thank you.
Okay. Jess, anything else for the financial reports? Or no, we're past that.
We're
on
on
leadership.
You're
leadership.
next.
Okay, gosh.
I got you
Okay.
sidetracked.
Anything else in the superintendent report?
Yes, sir.
I was two sections back there, sorry about that.
Yeah.
For my leadership reports, the presentation was the main meat and potatoes of the leadership report for that State of the Union kind of address. The one other thing, or main thing that I have in there is just the talk about the position, the curriculum position, and have it under administration, what it looked like under the current curriculum coordinator. Are you able to pull that up? It's under the administrative attachment. Most of the other stuff we've already kind of covered and talked about. It's a different
Just
attachment.
tab.
Go back to where you were at before. Go. That's it.
Oh, there we go.
No,
Is that it?
no, you pull up to the tech school one. Go up to the tech school.
second tab, there
There we go, all right.
Yeah, that's
There you
one.
go.
Then go down to agenda.
Sorry, new it.
There's
No,
my
not agenda.
report.
12. Go
Leadership report.
12.
Down
Yeah.
further. Yeah.
go to 12. Yeah, right there. There's 2 on that one.
Not, scroll down a little bit farther. Oh, you're not logged in.
No, not one.
You're not logged in, okay. Anyhow, I have 3 columns where I outline the positions. Curriculum coordinator as it stands, if we went to an assistant director, if we went to an assistant principal and so forth. And we've gone back and forth as an admin team and had a debate. What I'd like to do, sorry about that. What I'd like to do with that is just move forward and replace the position as it is with a job description change. It's still a curriculum coordinator, but make it to where it's 260-day position instead of 210. Really was kind of a coin toss. I was pushing for an assistant director, but I thought, you know what, we'll get it down the road, an assistant director position maybe down the road, and we'll keep that currently as a curriculum coordinator position, and just increase the number of days to get a little bit more manpower. So that's kind of my recommendation. There's no approval or anything like that, being that it's already the current position. Next meeting, we'll bring the revised job description to you, and all it is revising the total number of days, really.
Does that put a kink in, what Julie was talking about at the last meeting? When she was talking about how, the position of assistant director would benefit her position, or was that assistant principal?
No matter what you call it, it would benefit because of what we're doing in other infrastructure ways. Back in April last year, when we were looking at the growth numbers and they're like, when do we add administrator was one of the questions I think might have been used. When do we add administrative help in there? I kind of quelled that to say, I'd like to revise what we currently have, and do some things that way rather than add a position at this time. Doesn't mean we can't add down the road, and that's where we're at. With Sandy retiring, revising that position was where I tossed around assistant director. I have the rationale on there of kind of the numbers and what it would cost and the days and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, I literally within the last couple of days of talking with Sandy a little bit more, we kind of settled in. Are we pitching ourselves, holding ourselves into a certain certification that we maybe don't need to do by moving it to assistant director? And being that there was some questions and there was some thoughts on that, I said, let's just keep it status quo is kind of where I'm at now. Let's keep it status quo, but we're gonna add days to the instead of 210, make it 228. And that way we can get it rolling and get it posted and get it hired, bring the job description change to you guys next month before we actually hire somebody. And all it is an increase. And it really isn't an increase of that many days because our 260 employees actually only work 228 days because, time off, vacation, all that good stuff, holidays. So it's really only increasing at 18 days.
Well, does that mean Sandy has to work those extra days before
Does.
she retires?
Yes.
Yes, I like that. That was a good one.
Sandy laughed, you look like, yep. Now, how does that fill is that gonna fill the necessary needs that you were looking at with the assistant director? Is that going to?
I mean, we can get a lot of bang for our buck with the position. It's just, it's executive level leadership versus building level, middle level management type scenarios is what you're looking at there. I was looking for someone that's gonna help out on grants, that's gonna go out and represent us in the community. Because there's all kinds of boards and, associations and everyone's calling from every which direction,
And that was gonna free you up to do a lot of those.
Well, the idea was more manpower in grant writing. That's really my main push. Someone who can be a decision maker, plan budgets, execute things in that high level.
Could you perhaps just, cause I know my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, works with Gannon, and they specifically have a person there that just writes grants. That's their whole job, grant proposals. Could we look at something where that would be, and they can do that from home. That could be a remote position.
I mean, there's a lot of creative ways to do it, to where you maybe even incentivize it, like, hey, if you get X amount of funding, you get, 2% of that funding, I don't know. I mean, it's not typical in public education because it's more like it's just another lift of all the administration in each person. I don't know, looking at you, Matt, like, do you guys have your own grant writer or no?
No, we talk about that same thing though, in the question of whether or when that person ends up paying for themselves, in terms of grants received. But we, at this point, and I'm just speaking for a district our size, I'm not sure that we would reach that in a full-time position.
No, I was thinking more of like an
Like a part-time.
Part-time,
Or
like
contracted services.
contracted services,
Something
exactly.
like that.
Something that we could hire out, so somebody just to write grants.
Yeah, I think if Matt and Sandy feel confident with the same position, just more days as of now. But I think it's something that definitely should be looked at
Down the road.
further down the road as we continue to grow. It might be a good idea.
The only problem I would have with that, if you farmed it out, if that's the right word, is that person have the passion for this place that Matt does. It's gonna write an A+++ grant. And I would not see that happening, other than somebody that physically worked here, that understood what we're doing here and why we're here.
That's the difficulty of that type of position.
Yep.
For the record, I don't write A+++ grants. I actually
Obviously,
didn't get
they're
one that
pretty
I'm
darn
really
good.
disappointed in
You get
recently. But yeah, you didn't get the competitive equipment grant this year on a technicality. That one frustrated me.
ChatGPT.
It's not because of ChatGPT. The teachers that gave me the stuff that they had to answer used ChatGPT. No, it was a piece of equipment that they considered as software, and you couldn't apply for computer and software with the grant. I thought it was a piece of a training tool for nursing, but they interpreted it as a software, so we didn't get the grant. Sorry.
I have a question for you on your proposal. So if we're not ready for an assistant director
going with the curriculum coordinator position and holding it, how does that position us for the future? Would it be better, I guess, I'm gonna say this, and people in the room make an impact. Do we have the staff internally for the succession to become assistant director? And do we hire an assistant principal so that we can successfully move our internal staff up into that role as we move forward? That would be my one reason to say, bring an assistant principal on, groom an assistant director while you're training the next principal. I mean,
These are a lot of the discussions we've had for the last couple of months.
Succession planning kind of thoughts, but
Yeah, I mean, these are, I mean.
that's my fear of hiring a curriculum coordinator. You're locking yourself in. Now it's a whole nother position as opposed to a stepping of the
But we
existing.
have budgeted for a whole other position. We have budgeted
But if you bring the
for an assistant principal.
No,
No.
no. What we did is we budgeted for a leadership position. That is Sandy's current position. It was in the budget last year, and it's in the budget this year, it's in the budget next year. That's the position. And all we did, it doesn't quantify, it's an administrator. It doesn't quantify exactly what the title is in a budget process. But the numbers you put in there kind of tell you what it is, right? So right now, you know, Sandy, what she's making is on that little, I apologize, I bet it was administrative content thing, we can pull it up, but you guys, I believe, have access when you logged into it. But, you know, what she's making now.
We never budgeted a whole nother position.
That's there than I.
Never once did a
Right,
whole new position.
I
we
thought
knew she was
did.
gonna
Now,
retire.
we're back when Joe was here.
No.
No, we knew she was gonna
It might
retire.
have,
so-
when Joe was here and they took it out again.
I was gonna say, we talked about this at
Well,
one time.
we did for some overlap there for a little bit, but that wasn't.
I thought that, I could have swore that we budgeted when Joe was still here, an assistant principal position.
Budgeted for an assistant director position, half a year, to bring, when Joe was gonna retire, then that was there to bring on somebody, ended up being Matt, because he came on like in April of that year, so there was.
To cover the overlap.
Yeah, 2 months.
Right, but I still
But to
thought
Michael's
we
point,
put an
wouldn't it
assistant principal
behoove
on
us to
because we saw her enrollment.
try to, you know,
I mean,
advance
yeah.
from within?
It's really a coin toss of what you wanna do there, like. That's a good point as well. A lot of times in each of your districts, you guys call different positions different things. And, you know, sometimes it's called assistant superintendent, sometimes it's called assistant to the superintendent, sometimes it's called a curriculum director, sometimes it's a special name for a special ed director that does even more than special ed directing, right? Coordinator of student services is what we had back in the day in Valley Grove. Yeah, so what you end up getting is, what you call it doesn't really matter as much. I mean, it does a little bit. Based on CSPGs and certifications, it does. And that's where at the very end, if we go assistant director, they gotta go get director certification. If we go curriculum coordinator, there's a myriad of certifications that could fill that position. It could be a principal cert, it could be a director cert, it could be a curriculum, supervisor cert. You could use a special ed supervisor as well in that type of position. So it's just administrative cert. So that's really where we kind of went back and forth. I was pushing for an assistant director, just because I wanted that executive level decision maker leadership. That, a lot of times you get in these grants and you're writing them and, you gotta make decisions on budgets and that kind of stuff. And not that any person over there could write a grant, but it's gonna then still take time for me to say, okay, yes, I give the blessing on X, Y, Z, what we're trying to put in this point of the grant.
And when you're hiring, you're gonna wanna hire the best person at any rate.
Correct.
Even with understanding the feelings from the JOC, when you guys are hiring, you can look at that. It doesn't mean just because somebody's hired in that position for that. If it's the right person for the job and somebody can move up, who knows what can happen. I mean, perfect example right now, Matt's gonna be able to be director for the first time once Sandy retires. I mean, she's really the director. You guys don't know that.
Sandy is the person we turn to and say, Sandy, how does this work?
That's why we need those other 18 days.
That's right.
And you look, I don't know if everybody's seen what was there in the administrative login, but the job descriptions and responsibilities are essentially the same.
Yeah,
I mean,
what
it's-
we're
it's
really
almost
taking
exact.
off
Yeah.
is the special ed side. So
Okay.
Sandy carried 3 out of the 11 school districts of special ed caseload was something that Sandy carried, where Lisa carried 8 out of the 11 school districts. And basically, roughly caseload of 200 students and 100 students in managing all the special ed. We budgeted for the special ed teacher. That was part of getting more manpower. But that was, purpose was to take off, like half of that special ed caseload off management, off of administrators. Because you guys have transition coordinators and different special ed teachers that do a lot of caseload management within your districts. We don't have to have that in administrative ranks. It could be in that professional staff ranks. So that's the other side of this discussion of more manpower in the administrative ranks, is that we're kind of taking 0.7 of an FTE off of Lisa and Sandy combined, pushing it over to a professional staff, member that's a special ed teacher that's gonna be like a transition coordinator for us. And then that frees them up to do more. With Lisa, it's workforce development that we're pushing really hard, where she does more and more. She has the co-op certification. She kind of knows that side of things, and then adult ed as well. Do more on the workforce development side of things with Lisa. And with Sandy's position was gonna be more of the grant and all the management side of things as well. So, with the grants.
Yeah, I'm dating myself now, but boy, saying, what was her, we had an administrative level person that just did, or a lot of what she did was the evening, the evening classes. Shoot, she sat right over there.
Mary Ellen?
Yes, yes. I mean, that's been a few years ago.
You're gonna miss this next
That was
year.
a lot.
How did you even pull that name out that quick?
I could tell you anything, how would you know the difference?
You could actually say that. Oh, yeah.
Good answer.
That's actually a great answer.
Yeah, like I said, Dr. Wise used to run the high school stuff. There used to be so
That
many
goes back
people.
even better.
So there's so many people, if, what Matt said on the State of the Union, if we get more people coming out here, yes, we'll need to get somebody to help the staffing of that, yes, but right now we do not have the demands, unless we got a lot of extra money to pay $200,000 for a staffer, which I don't think we do. I would recommend doing it if somebody's gonna volunteer $200,000 for staffing.
Really, or you can volunteer, right?
No, Gerard can't. Gerard breaking, nobody has no money, I found out. Everybody, I need a $6 million, it's got it.
Northeast has a lot of independently wealthy people.
So at any rate, that'll be up next
I
month
need
for
$6 million for a pool.
our review.
Right next door.
Yeah, so being that we're not changing anything in the title, we might change the job description a little bit. We're gonna post and get it going and get it hired, get it moving
I'm
forward.
good with that.
We'll bring the change in job description to you next month. We're also gonna bring a couple other job descriptions to you as well, just for little changes like the special ed teacher.
So in reality, we are adding one staff member for next year.
We are adding, but it's special ed teacher
Right.
position, yeah. It's in the professional staff.
But
And that
that's
was
gonna-
budgeted in, and that was, discussed with budget, with our, quite in-depthly when we talked about it. Because the superintendents had questions about assistant director versus curriculum director and so forth over a couple of months of discussions. And, kind of got to the point where the big one-liner, I was trying to pull it up so I could shoot the Andy so we could show it, but in that document, the big line that you got it over there, the big line that is really what flipped me back was the CSPG line. You see the CSPG line there? Where the cert to be an assistant director is not CSPG 97. The cert for an assistant principal is CSPG 95. Now, one of the questions I have is, in the principal ranks, it says regular education, not career and tech ed. So technically, we're not supposed to use principal terminology in career tech ed, but nobody says anything. And then the CSPG rank for curriculum coordinator is CSPG 88, 89, 91, 92, and 97. You could use for that kind of title. So that's where we talked about that pigeonhole idea.
Limit yourself to.
We're not limiting, we're not limiting to somebody that just has a director certification. We can do a curriculum certification, a principal certification, a special ed supervisor, or a director certification into that position. So So that was really the one with everything going back and forth of some questioning. I said, just keep status quo, we'll keep moving on. We're still trying to get a great person in there. We're still gonna give them a lot of those same duties that we would have given the assistant director. And the other part of it is in a hierarchy of our positions, it's always been kind of that there was a director, there was a principal, then there was kind of the other administrators. Even though they're the same level technically as the principal was the number 2 caller basically on everything. And so, in Crawford County, they call that person assistant director, right? There's Kevin Sprong as director, Mike Costa is the assistant director, but he calls himself the principal. And then, then the rest of the administrators are kind of like, even though they're all the same level, they're not the play caller that the principal is, right? So it's really that hierarchy. And that's what we discussed, where Sandy kind of said, hey, I defer to Jolie. I defer, like Lisa and I's positions, we're back up to Jolie. Jolie makes way more decisions, 100 a day, and we're just following through on a lot of those decisions she makes. So that would be the difference. If we went to assistant director, it would be kind of changing that hierarchy a little bit. And that's why, one of the reasons why I said, all right, I think the best way to go is just keep it status quo and we'll move forward. We'll add some days. We'll change some of the weight, load within, but yeah.
It's pending at PDE. But we're just gonna change my title. If you make a motion, I'll just be the commander-in-chief and we don't have to worry about it.
That's what we always call it.
Should we all send you a list of our 5 things we did this week?
I've got mine ready.
Sorry.
There we go. So if I guess that just, everybody, there's not enough to vote on at this meeting.
Right.
We're just gonna post out curriculum coordinator tomorrow and move it forward.
Yeah, we wanna get that going before Sandy leaves.
Well, she's just not allowed to leave until.
Oh, I tried that, it didn't work so far.
Okay, anything else under your report?
That's it.
All right, solicitors report.
Nothing other than I'll tell Tim you missed him today.
Don't tell him that, we don't want to get big head.
You can also tell him we really appreciate what he put together for the superintendent meeting of the history.
I will, thank you.
And I'm gonna forward all those. There's quite a few, there's a lot of reading materials.
Thanks, Matt. How about 12D for approval of the report section of the agenda?
So moved, guys.
Second, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Supplementary reports and information. Anything there we need to act upon? Nothing else?
I do appreciate the reports, they're always nice to look at.
The one big news out of that, which we highlighted earlier in the earlier meeting, is that the health lab, we're gonna be putting out to bid the project of the HVAC, the lighting, the electric and plumbing of building out the new health lab over there in the space behind Precision Machine.
Isn't it going right in that building section we have already?
To build out inside.
Okay. Right, I went by it, there's a hospital building out there already.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's just like a couple of
Matt
things in
takes his
there.
nap.
That's how he doesn't have to go home, he has to work all the time.
Alrighty, anything else for the good of the order? If not, I entertain a motion to.
Yeah, I just wanna thank Matt for today. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. There were 6 of us from Northeast here, and we walked the halls and in the labs.
I think you got the winner there. Most of us.
Yeah, what do you have, 3?
The superintendent too.
Great job
Thank
done
you.
by everyone. You guys did a great job. So
Yep, they
my
did
board
excellent.
they're stoked, so, yeah.
And I was a selfish with a, I told
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Uh-oh.
Annual event, people can plan ahead a little bit better than what they.
hey, now we can stop. They lost our paperwork, we were so early.
The mileage paperwork, who usually does
It's
mileage?
coming out right now.
Well, we don't have to wait for that, so I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we're adjourned.